Hello everybody, my name is Starrapter and welcome to the channel. In this video, I want to talk all about Xbox and why I think it is the place to play your games in 2021 and moving forward. They just had a killer presentation at E3 2021 and it was a far cry from where they started in 2013 with the Xbox One. They got Phil Spencer involved and things have been going really well. And the number one thing that I think most gamers would complain about up until now was Xbox had no games. And I really don't think you could bring that argument into the fray anymore, because after that E3 21 showcase, there is plenty of games and it's just so much variety, from RTSs specifically on the PC with Age of Empires 4 to big blockbusters with Halo Infinite, to other games big and small, 12 minutes, other games like Tunic. We got platformers like Psychonauts 2, and then there's the big push with Bethesda and these acquisitions that Xbox has been building up over the years. We have Starfield, the exclusive people have been waiting for, a new realm for Bethesda in over 20 years with this new IP. Then you have another new IP with Redfall that got revealed at the end of the conference there, of the presentation. And everything in between. Xbox has been buying these studios. They have 23 studios, and I don't think they're stopping there. You have games like Microsoft Flight Simulator that are just doing things that are just pushing the boundaries for what we think systems can be capable for. A huge push for Xbox has been Game Pass, and they have been really breaking through with that. And I think the promise of having that Netflix for games kind of service is really hitting its stride right now. As you see in the thumbnail of this video, there's so many games just coming out in 2021 on day one, right? These aren't old games. They're bringing new games too that come out the day they launch, like Dark Alliance is coming out next week. We also have big games that have been Game of the Year award winners like Hades. We have games that are coming out from third-party publishers such as Back for Blood. We have already seen earlier in the year, we had Outriders from Square Enix launching day one. We had even a Sony exclusive game in MLB The Show for the first time hitting Xbox on day one. Xbox just keeps putting out these great experiences that, hey, maybe you wouldn't ever want to spend money or would ever want to, spend your money and fear that you might waste it. But at least with Game Pass, it gives you that easy user experience to go in there, at least try a game and see if that's okay. And I really think it's the wave of the future, because as of last year, I played the most games that I've ever played, simply because I didn't have to spend money, right? I didn't have to spend hundreds of dollars. If you compare this to, let's say, other console brands out there, you're spending hundreds of dollars if you wanted to play every one of these games. Whereas at least with Game Pass Ultimate, you're spending upwards of $180 a year, and you're going to get these games. You're going to get all the first-party games as well as a ton of third-party games mixed in there. Speaking of Game Pass and how that is integrated, the hardware is really good this time around. I think a lot of people thought that the Xbox One was kind of an underpowered system and it was fighting a losing battle since it launched. But the Series S and the Series X are great consoles, and the fact that we have a choice and a decision and if we want to go discless or 4K enabled is great. I myself use the Series S, and I just love how compact it is and how we have the options if we want to expand its memory with this proprietary software, or hardware I should say, that integrates this expansion pad inside the system. We also have just the software capabilities, right? The backwards compatibility of playing all the games that you've basically owned digital, right? Like all the way back in time. The integration there is great. You also have FPS boost as well as auto HDR, which make your games from the previous generation really pop and really feel more like that next generation experience. Also, smart delivery is great on the Xbox platform. Let's say you're playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla on your Xbox One, and then you upgrade to an Xbox Series X. You bring that game and that data with you, and it's going to up-res the game, play it in that more optimized state for that system. So overall, just the hardware advancements, the quick resume is a huge one. It acts more like a PC with the Xbox Series S and X. You're going to be able to have multiple games almost like tabbed open, if you will. So you can jump from, let's say, Halo Master Chief Collection over to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, over to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. You're able to just kind of jump in between different games with like maybe 8 seconds in between. You don't have to go through the whole launcher and everything and start loading from the ground up. And the load times also are a huge difference. They're a huge difference. If you play a game like Destiny 2, you're going to notice those load times drastically different. Also, a big thing with Xbox is they're really pushing the overall ecosystem. Hey, if you don't want to spend, $300 to $500 on a brand new system, that's okay, because a lot of these games you can play on the PC, and the great interface of the cloud streaming in between them, or the cloud save, so you can just jump and carry your progress, play anywhere, is a great feature. I can play on my Xbox, go into the cloud streaming, which is another huge thing for Xbox, is the fact that you won't even need a system necessarily anymore to play these games. They're going to soon integrate Xbox apps into smart TVs like you would see with Netflix, like you would see with Disney Plus and stuff on there. Or if you don't have an up-to-speed smart TV, they're also going to start developing these streaming sticks, which you'll be able to plug into your TV and, I assume connect a controller via Bluetooth to that device and play on your TV. Now, granted, not every place, I'm in the United States, not every place has great internet yet, but this is a great way to kind of look in the future, maybe 5 years from now, when we really get there with that internet speed, to be able to just almost seamlessly play these games without even needing special hardware other than your TV or a simple streaming stick. That's great. And we're even talking about, if you have an Xbox One, you'll be able to stream games without even having to download. So you can theoretically play Starfield, which is a next-gen game, on the Xbox One, simply because it's going to be streaming from an external system out there in the system banks, and you'll be able to play it that way. So huge get there for Xbox. Really thinking ahead, thinking of the future between Game Pass and the cloud streaming. That is really the wave of the future for gaming. And finally, the fans, the way they are dealing with the fans. I just created my own custom controller through Xbox Design Labs, which is just a really cool feature, just, to customize your controller with different colors and stuff like that. But not only that, but just the way that they are doing their presentations, really, not being as much beating you over the head with, investors, and this is for the investors. No, this is really for the fans. They're doing this for the fans. They know what the fans have wanted over all the years. We've seen that great E3 2021 presentation where they were just, okay, we know the problem is the games. We're going to just show the games. We're going to bring people up to the stage and talk a little bit. We'll have that extended games, that Xbox Games Showcase extended, where they actually brought the developers on there to talk. And Xbox has just been listening to the feedback over the years of what things should be and shouldn't be done. They've made some mistakes, but they've listened to the feedback, and they have kind of backpedaled on some of these weirder decisions. And I think that's really paying off, because every time almost I see Xbox in the news, it has been something positive this year. And especially coming out of E3 2021, I see the buzz. I see the firsthand reports of people really starting to make the jump for next gen to go to Xbox first. I'm seeing that more and more often, especially coming out of E3 2021. And after everything I've said, I do believe that Xbox is really going to, live to those promises of, we want to be that place that you're going to be playing your games from here until the end of time, essentially, because it's just, everything is integrated so well into the systems and the overlays and everything else that goes with it. So yeah, what do you guys think about Xbox at this moment? Do you think that you would like to jump into the next gen, or are you going to play cloud streaming? Or is that just a brand that you just, they lost you and you'll never come back to? Let's talk about it in the comment section down below. For more on video games, I talk about them every once in a while on the channel, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel if that is something you want to see more of. Also, I do have a Star Wars weekly podcast called Outer Rim Transmission, so if you like Star Wars, definitely go ahead and look that up on Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts, and please subscribe and leave some feedback. That is going to do it for me, Starrapter. Thank you so much for watching, and bye-bye. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.